Ever wake up to your cat staring at you, like it knows something you don't? Cats often stare at sleeping owners to observe safety, routines, and subtle movements. But the final reason behind this behavior is the one most cat owners never expect. It usually starts with something simple most cat owners never think twice about. When you're asleep, your body becomes quiet, predictable, and strangely consistent. To a cat, that calm stillness is more noticeable than when you're awake and moving. Cats are instinctively drawn to environments that feel stable rather than active. So if your cat keeps watching you sleep, what does that say about how it sees you? From a survival perspective, stillness often signals safety, not vulnerability. That's why cats observe sleeping humans more closely than active ones. Ironically, your sleep isn't what worries your cat, it's what reassures them. Most people assume a staring cat is curious, alert, or waiting for something. But to a cat, curiosity isn't always about action, it's about confirmation. Your unmoving body tells them the space hasn't changed and nothing is wrong. In that moment, you're not a person. You're part of the environment. And cats don't watch environments because they're anxious. They watch them because they feel safe. That long, quiet stare is actually a sign of comfort, not suspicion. So when your cat stares at you while you sleep, it's not studying you. It's relaxing into a space where it finally doesn't need to stay alert. There's another layer to this behavior that has nothing to do with curiosity or routine. Cats don't form connections loudly. They bond through presence and proximity. When a cat chooses to stay near you while you sleep, that choice is intentional. In the animal world, closeness is never random. It's earned. So why would a predator choose to remain beside something completely unconscious? Because sleep doesn't register as weakness to cats. It signals trust. Your vulnerability doesn't trigger their instincts to flee. It activates their instinct to stay. In that moment, your cat isn't watching over you. You're anchoring them. Over time, that quiet closeness becomes part of how cats define emotional security. Cats don't guard what they fear. They stay near what feels emotionally familiar. Your sleeping presence creates a predictable emotional anchor they instinctively return to. That's why the stare feels quiet, steady, and completely free of tension. If your cat truly felt threatened, would it choose to remain that close for so long? This behavior isn't about protection. It's about shared emotional territory. In a subtle way, your cat is using you to regulate its own calm. So when your cat watches you sleep, it's grounding itself, not watching over you. What happens next shifts from behavior into biology, where instinct quietly becomes neural synchronization. Cats are extremely sensitive to rhythmic patterns, especially breathing, heartbeat, and subtle nervous system signals. When you sleep, your breathing slows into a steady pattern their brains naturally lock onto. This isn't emotional bonding yet. It's involuntary biological mirroring happening beneath conscious awareness levels entirely. So why does a cat keep staring while its nervous system quietly synchronizes with yours? As this synchronization deepens, cats often become calmer, not more alert or stimulated states internally. Your steady breathing actually helps regulate their heart rate through shared environmental rhythms cues naturally. In biological terms, your sleeping body functions like a calming signal generator for cats. As synchronization deepens, the cat's brain begins downshifting into parasympathetic dominance alongside your state. This shift reduces vigilance hormones, lowering stress responses without the cat consciously choosing anything. If your nervous systems are syncing, who is actually calming whom in that moment? Your sleep can regulate a cat's nervous system more than touch alone. Eye contact maintains alignment, helping the cat confirm the rhythm hasn't suddenly changed overnight. Staring is an alertness here. It's a stabilizing feedback loop between two mammals sharing space quietly. That's why the gaze feels steady, heavy, and soothing rather than sharp or intrusive. When your cat watches you sleep, Its brain is borrowing your calm to reset. If this changed how you see your cat, follow the channel for deeper behavior breakdowns. There is one final angle most people overlook because it doesn't feel comforting at all. Not every stare comes from calm, trust, or learned behavior built over time. In some situations, prolonged staring can signal internal stress or discomfort. Cats experiencing anxiety often fixate visually when they feel uncertain about their environment. So, how can you tell when watching shifts from normal behavior into something concerning? The difference usually appears in the body, not just the eyes. A tense posture often matters more than the stare itself. What looks like attention can sometimes be a quiet sign that something feels wrong. If the body stays relaxed, blinking occurs, and breathing remains slow, the behavior is normal. A calm cat may stare quietly without tension, stiffness, or sudden defensive reactions. Concern begins when staring pairs with rigid posture, flattened ears, or shallow, rapid breathing. Stress-related staring often looks frozen, intense, and disconnected from the surrounding environment. Is your cat able to relax afterward, or does the tension linger long after? Normal behavior resolves itself, while stress-driven behavior tends to repeat without relief. The eyes rarely tell the full story. The body always does. When you read the whole body, the stare becomes information, not something to fear. What seems like a simple stare is actually a layered behavior shaped by instinct, learning, and biology. Your cat isn't watching randomly. It's responding to safety, timing, and internal regulation. Sometimes that gaze means comfort, sometimes prediction, and occasionally a signal worth paying attention to. Understanding the difference changes fear into insight and curiosity into real connection. Because when you understand why your cat watches, you start seeing the relationship differently.